The knock came soft but insistent, pulling Marcus from the shallow sleep he'd finally fallen into. His heart hammered as he checked his phone, 2:17 a.m. Through the peephole, he saw her, Elena Rodriguez, his boss of 3 years, standing in the dim hotel hallway wearing a business suit that looked hastily thrown on. Her expression was unreadable, but her eyes held something that made his stomach drop. He'd left his 7-year-old daughter Lily alone with his elderly neighbor Mrs. Chen back home. Had something happened? His hands shook as he opened the door. "Can I come in? We need to talk," Elena whispered, glancing down the corridor as if afraid of being seen. Marcus stepped back, his mind racing through every possible disaster. The quarterly reports he'd submitted yesterday. The client presentation next week. The emergency text he'd sent her earlier about leaving the conference early because Lily's school had called about a fever. He was going to be fired. He had to be. Single parents didn't get second chances in corporate America, he'd learned that the hard way. Elena entered and stood by the window, her back to him for a long moment. When she turned, her face was softer than he'd ever seen it in the office. "I need you to sit down," she said quietly. Marcus sank onto the edge of the bed, every muscle tense. 3 years of 60-hour weeks, of proving himself, of being the first one in and the last one out, of bringing Lily to the office on weekends when childcare fell through, all of it was about to end. He thought of Lily's art therapy sessions, her asthma medication, the scholarship application for the gifted program that was due next month. "I saw your laptop screen earlier," Elena began, and Marcus's blood ran cold. "In the conference room, before the afternoon session. You minimized it quickly, but not quickly enough." Marcus remembered. He'd been looking at his bank account, calculating whether he could afford to fly home early if Lily's fever got worse, weighing it against the cost of missing this career-making conference. The medical bills from her emergency room visit last month had demolished his savings. "Ms. Rodriguez, I can explain." She held up a hand. 4 years ago, I stood in a hospital room at 3 in the morning and made the worst decision of my life. My daughter Sophia was 7, the same age as Lily. She had pneumonia, and the doctors said someone needed to stay with her, that the next 48 hours were critical. Elena's voice cracked slightly. "I had a presentation the next day. A merger deal worth $40 million. I told myself Sophia's father could handle it, that my career needed me more in that moment, that I'd make it up to her later." Marcus watched as his boss, this woman he'd only ever seen as an impenetrable force of nature in the boardroom, lowered herself into the desk chair, suddenly looking fragile. "Sophia recovered. The deal went through. I got promoted to VP. Elena's hands twisted together in her lap. But Sophia stopped asking me to come to her school events. Stopped telling me about her day. By the time she was 12, we were strangers living in the same house. She's 17 now, and we barely speak beyond logistics." The room fell silent except for the hum of the heating unit. Marcus didn't know what to say. "I saw your screen, Marcus. I saw your bank balance. I saw the medical bills folder. I saw the calendar reminder that said, Lily's art show, don't miss, for tomorrow afternoon." Elena looked directly at him. "And I saw you close it all and walk back into that conference room with a smile, ready to give the best pitch of the day." "I need this job," Marcus said quietly. "Lily needs stability. I can't." "You're getting on a plane at 6 a.m., Elena interrupted. "I've already booked you a first-class ticket. There's a car waiting downstairs to take you to the airport." Marcus stared at her, confused. "But the conference, the presentation." "I'm giving your presentation. I've read your notes. Your insights about our expansion into underserved markets are brilliant, by the way. Better than anything I could have come up with." She pulled an envelope from her jacket pocket. "This is a check for $10,000. It's not a loan. It's not coming from company funds. It's from me, personally. I can't accept." "Yes, you can. You're going to use it to pay off those medical bills. You're going to take Lily to that art show. You're going to be there when she needs you, because that window closes faster than you can imagine, and you don't get it back." Elena's eyes were bright with unshed tears. "I have money, Marcus. I have a corner office and a title and respect. But I don't have my daughter. Not really. And all the success in the world doesn't fill that hole." Marcus felt his own eyes burning. "Why are you doing this?" "Because I see you struggling every day to be both parents to that little girl." I see you eating lunch at your desk so you can leave 15 minutes earlier to make pickup. I see you taking calls in the parking lot at 10 p.m. because you're helping her with homework and don't want to miss it. I see you being the parent I should have been. Elena stood up, straightening her jacket. And because 3 months ago, I overheard you on the phone with Lily. She asked if you'd be at her art show, and you said, "Wild horses couldn't keep me away, baby girl." That's what Sophia used to ask me. And I missed so many shows, so many moments, always thinking there would be more time. She walked to the door, then paused. You're getting a promotion too. We're creating a new position, Director of Regional Development. 20% raise, full benefits, and a flexible schedule. You've earned it 10 times over, but more importantly, Lily deserves a parent who doesn't have to choose between being there for her and keeping the lights on. Elena, Marcus's voice broke on her name. My father died when I was 8, she said softly. My mother worked 3 jobs to keep us afloat. She was never home, but she was doing it for me. I understood that intellectually, but emotionally. I just wanted my mom. She turned to face him. Don't let Lily grow up with just the intellectual understanding. Give her the real thing. Show her that she comes first, not because you say it, but because you prove it. After Elena left, Marcus sat in the darkness for a long time, holding the envelope. Through the window, he could see the city beginning to stir in the pre-dawn hours. He thought about the man he'd been 3 years ago, desperate and drowning after his wife left, terrified of failing Lily. He thought about every missed bedtime, every dinner reheated in the microwave, every time he'd said, "I'm sorry, baby, Daddy has to work." His phone buzzed. A text from Mrs. Chen. Lily's fever broke. She's asking for you. Says she can't wait to show you her art project, a picture of her hero. It's you, carrying her on your shoulders. Marcus pressed his palm against his eyes, overwhelmed by the weight of it all. The burden of single parenthood, the grace of unexpected kindness, the possibility of a future where he didn't have to sacrifice one love for another. At 5:30 a.m., he rode the elevator down, his hastily packed bag over his shoulder. In the lobby, Elena sat on a sofa, 2 coffee cups beside her. Thought you might need this for the flight, she said, handing him one. And Marcus, when Lily asks why you came home early, tell her the truth. Tell her your boss learned something important, and she wanted to make sure you didn't make the same mistake she did. Tell her that sometimes the bravest thing we can do is ask for help, and the most powerful thing we can do is offer it. As the car pulled away from the hotel, Marcus watched the sunrise paint the sky in shades of gold and pink. He thought about second chances and the ripples one person's kindness could create. He thought about Elena's daughter Sophia, and whether it was too late for them to find their way back to each other. Mostly, he thought about Lily, waiting at home with her art project, believing her father could move mountains to be there for her. And because of a woman who stood at his door at 2 a.m. with courage and regret and hope, he could.